Okay, welcome to RageMore's tutorial on playing on a survival multiplayer role-playing server. This happens to be the World of Eldin, which you may have noticed I've been making quite a few videos of lately. And one of the things I wanted to do was make a video that would help out new players to the server that haven't played on a server like this. Maybe you played single player, maybe you played on other maybe just creative servers where you just build things, but this one's a little different because there's a lot of things going on. So as you can see, I have no inventory. I'm starting on the ship where you spawn in the very first part, although you may not spawn exactly right here. This is where you will start. So some things you need to know right away. There's a lot of people on the server. It is a PvP server, and so you're going to meet a lot of people while you're traveling, and there's lots of people that are willing to help you. You can see the message on the left-hand side there where it says your stomach grumbles. That's another important thing to understand right away, is that this server does have hunger, so you do have to make food and eat food on a regular basis so that you do not starve to death, which is possible. And I'll explain that. Now, one thing you should do is read all the rules in the ship. Now, I'm not going to go through and have you read them right now, but once you're in this ship, you should read every rule. There's this level, and if you go down the stairs, there's a second level that tells you more things. Okay? Once you have read those rules, I think the very first thing you're going to want to do is make your way, and here it says, don't forget to read the rules, make your way into town. Now, first thing you want to do here, and all these rules are important because they're telling you how to play the game. Right now I am facing north, so I've come off the ship and I went north, and here's what we call New Haven. Okay? So what do we do on a server like this when I'm brand new? Well, one of the things we have is, one, we realize we have to have food so we don't starve to death. Two, we eventually want to settle down somewhere, and we're going to want to build things, but we want to build in a place that's safe, and so people can't destroy our things that we build. And two, we probably want to make some friends while we're here. So some of the things you can do is, once you're in town here, there's a bunch of signs that lead you to other cities that are on the server. In fact, this road, which will eventually head in the south down to St. Croix. Or if you head back up into town here, basically remember I'm going north, and remember there's signs in this town also. You can think of this town as a little tutorial area that will tell you all of the things you need to do. Things about farms and stores, how they work, where to get food and things like that. How these different stores work. All these commands are on these signs, so I recommend that you read the signs. I'm not going to show you how to read them in the tutorial. I'm just going to trust that you go ahead and read the signs in the town before you do anything else. Again, I just came up from the south, so this sign is saying south is that way. And if I want to go to Amaterasu, then I would go to the west, which is where the sun is setting. If I wanted to go to the north, I would continue out north, so the ship is back that way, and this is north. Or if I wanted to go east, I could go east, which would be out this way. Okay? So a lot of things are in different areas. So these buildings have those first few things that you're going to want to learn about, like levels and how they work. So on this server, I'll explain some of the basics as we go. Now for me, it's a PvP server. So when you have a PvP server, you're going to have people that you don't know. And when you don't know people on a server like this, you want to be careful. You want to use caution. They may try to kill you. They may try to help you. You don't know what's going to happen. And again, read all the signs before you leave town. Now, I would say pick a direction that you want to leave town once you've read all the signs and you understand what's going on. Because the first thing you need to do is you really need to start leveling up your skills. Well, what skills are there that you have? Skills like chopping wood, skills like digging dirt or gravel or sand, things like mining stone or iron or any of the ores that are out there. Those are all things that you have to build up over time. You won't just be able to do that right from scratch. Your second goal, besides, well, actually, let's do it this way. Your first goal is food. That's always your first goal. Make sure you have enough food that you don't starve. Goal number 2 is to increase your skills so that you're able to do more things on the server. And then goal number 3 is to actually find a place that you're going to call home and that you like the people that are around you, or maybe you're a loner and you want to be way out in the wilderness and left alone, but you want to be able to build your stuff out there, well, then that's your third goal. Okay, so the tutorial that I'm going to do should help you get through goals 1, 2, and 3, or at least get you on your way to goal number 3. Okay, so first things we have to do is food, and we have to start leveling our skills so that we can eventually buy land that will be protected so that people can't come onto it and harm it, and then we can build our establishment. And then there's even more things you can do after that. You can participate in tournaments, you can participate in wars between the cities, you can help other people build their cities. There's so many different things that you can do once we get through the other 3 goals. Okay? To buy land, I have to explain a concept of money, and on this server you can get money which is called trade bars. Okay? So you get trade bars by selling things to stores or players, and then trade bars are exchanged as a currency, and then you can use that currency to go ahead and buy land on the server. Okay? So for instance, if we just set a very simple goal for myself, remember, number 1, feed myself, number 2, level my skills up so that I can do more things, and then number 3, get enough money to buy a plot of land. Okay? Now I can buy land in cities or I can buy land out in the wild, and I'll explain that as we go through the tutorial. But to get trade bars, I have to get materials or stuff that people want to buy. And that's because I'm leveling up with goal number 2 is going to help me get to goal number 3. Alright, so one last warning. Remember, you can't trust people until you know them, so you got to be careful. You can be killed when you're outside of protected areas. This happens to be a protected area. As you can see, I can't destroy things. It'll come right back because it is a protected area. Those came right back. Okay? Things like main roads and towns are protected areas. You won't be able to do things there, but out in the wild, you will be able to manipulate the land just like a regular Minecraft. So, we need food for goal 1. So let me talk about goal number 1. And I need a safe place to level my skills up. I don't want to be in a place where other players can harm me while I'm doing this. See people running around with swords and things like that. So I need to be careful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave town, hopefully without a bunch of people following me, get to a safe place where I think I won't be found, and then begin to find food, level my skills up, begin to make money so that I can buy land. Now I like to, let's see, I know just because I've been on the server, there's a lot going on to the north. There's a lot of people that live out north, and there are some people that live to the west, and even the south has been popular. I haven't seen too many people out in the east, but I know there's a lot of stuff going on. But I just need to find some place that I can hang out and not be bothered. So I'm going to try to sneak out west here. And I see some people I do know, and they're good people. And I don't want to make it sound like everybody on here is going to cut your throat the minute you step off, but you do have to be prepared that it can happen. So one of the things I do, remember, here it is about to be nighttime. This is probably a bad time to go adventuring, but in a server like this, you're going to have to. So here I'm on this protected road, and I need to find a place without drawing too much attention that I can get some food and level up. So the best ways to accomplish number 1. Probably killing pigs would be the easiest and quickest, the one you remember from any of the Minecraft you played before. So you can get pork chops. You can eat, uncooked pork chops, or you can eat cooked pork chops, and that'll help you with your hunger. Another thing that you can do is find other types of food, like bread, if you can farm, fish, if you can fish, and stew, if you can find mushrooms. So right now I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to find a place. And you can see other players have been out this way. So I need to get to somewhere where I feel like, I can kind of be out on my own. I don't want to be too close to people. Now, if you're joining the server and you have friends, you obviously are going to go where they're playing, because they're going to have a safer area for you, and you're going to be able to start near them. But if you're brand new and you don't know anybody yet, you're just going to have to pick a direction, and then you're going to have to survive in the wilderness for a little while until you get to know people, and then you start to decide, do you want to live in a big city? Do you want to live out in the wildlands? What do you want to do? I'm going to run for just a little ways here where I feel like I'm far enough away from the spawn point, and then I'm just going to head out into the wilderness. Now this will be dangerous because right now I have no items. It's about to be dark. The mobs are going to start spawning, and so I'm going to have to use some good skills here. If you wanted to, you could wait in New Haven where it is safe until dawn comes up, and then you could venture out, which is probably a better idea than what I'm about to show you. One of the things I do sometimes too is just stay on the road. So here I'm going to look for a place. Now let's see, since it's going to get dark and I don't want my video to be too dark on YouTube when I post this, what I think I'll do is I'm just going to get to a spot on this road where I feel like it's time for me to head out into the wilderness. And then when I do that, I'll cut the video off. I'm going to hide out and keep myself safe till dawn approaches, and then I'll bring the video back up, and then I'll show you what you should do on your first day here. So at this point, I think I went a little further west than I wanted to go. So I think I'm going to go back just a tiny bit. I think on the other side of this hill is where I'm going to just start heading off the road and find a nice wilderness spot to go ahead and start working. So okay, I'm going to pause it here. I'm going to let dawn come back up, and I'm going to try to stay alive, and then when dawn's here I'll go ahead and pick up again and we'll continue the tutorial.